Does creatine really do anything? Is it really the magic behind better strength gains and brain function? Or is creatine overhyped with barely noticeable changes that you won't even see? In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens after 30 days of taking creatine and how to implement an effective protocol so you can get lean without that gym bro routine. Let's talk numbers. Creatine can boost muscle strength by 15%, muscular endurance by 30%, and even improve brain function by 10%. Sounds impressive, right? Who wouldn't want that? But is it really going to work for you? And is it worth adding another thing into your daily routine? The first thing I'm going to test is explosive power, where creatine is supposed to make a serious difference. And I'm measuring it with plyometric push-ups to failure, with a clap thrown in there, just so I can easily count the difference between day 1 and day 30. So day 1, just woke up, no food, no coffee. And as I usually take creatine daily, I flushed it out of my system and stopped creatine supplementation for 30 days. You can see I get 16 clap push-ups with good form. And now day 30. Identical conditions, no food, no coffee, but dosed up with creatine for 30 days. And I get 19 clap push-ups with good form, with a noticeable increase in power. So we've got a 19% improvement, right around what the research indicates the average guy should see. But let me tell you, I felt way more powerful off the floor, because creatine feeds your muscles with that ATP for that 10 seconds of explosive activity. Whether it's plyo push-ups, sprints, or a heavy bench press, creatine helps you push harder and faster at a higher intensity before you gas out. But why does this happen? Well, our body naturally uses around 2 grams of creatine per day. And while the liver does a great job of producing the same amount of glycine, methionine, and arginine to create creatine, it can only do this if you're consuming pounds of meat and fish daily.
Bro, you don't need those fancy powders. Just eat like 3 steaks a day, you'll be maxed out.
Well, even if you did that, you'll still fall short of maxing out your body's creatine stores. Whereas if we supplement, we can increase our natural stores of creatine by an extra 30%, which translates to way more power output in your workouts. And more power means more mechanical tension on your muscles, the key driver of muscle growth. But it doesn't stop there. Creatine is not just for those explosive, power-heavy movements, it's also about lasting longer. Now let's dive into test 2. For this, we're testing push-ups to form failure. So day 1 again, after the plyo push-ups. Let's see how creatine impacts how many reps I can crank out before my muscles burn out. So day 1, you can see I got 26 until I hit form failure. And on day 30, same test, same conditions, but this time my muscles are fully loaded with creatine. And I get 34 push-ups until form failure. The result? An increase in 26%, right in line with the research data. And I can categorically say that I felt stronger for longer. Because creatine fills your muscles with extra ATP energy, like having an extra bunch of batteries in your cells. So my muscular endurance is vastly increased. And more muscular endurance means more workout volume. And the more volume you can push, the more you build. In fact, this epic study showed there's almost a dose-response relationship here. The participants were put under crazy workout volumes of up to 50 sets per muscle group per week. And they saw crazy gains. So in general, more volume equals more growth. But you might be thinking volume is limited by recovery, and you'd be right. Well, over the 30 days, I noticed I was recovering so much faster between sessions. Less muscle soreness, less fatigue, and that means more frequent training of the body parts I want to improve. So I could not only train harder, but more often with more volume. And if you're serious about getting lean like this, I've got a free training program just for you. 60 ways in 60 days to get lean without the gym bro routine. You'll get quick 2-minute daily emails from me, packed with an anti-gym bro nutrition tip or fitness hack that fits seamlessly into your life, making it easy to get lean on autopilot. And you can sign up in the description below. Plus, I did see actual visible differences. Way more muscle fullness. In fact, the scale went up 3 to 4 pounds. But unfortunately, even though it's not all fat, it's not all muscle mass either, because creatine pulls water into your muscles, making them look bigger. It's what's called cell volumization. Don't worry though, it's not water bloat. This water stays inside of your muscle cells, giving them that thicker, fuller look. Plus, this awesome study shows that creatine leads to real lean mass gains too. After 6 weeks, the participants that took creatine saw 2 kgs more lean mass than those participants that took the placebo. But remember, creatine isn't just for your muscles. We only store 95% of our creatine in our muscles. The other 5% is stored in our brain, and your brain needs it to function optimally, for faster processing, for better memory, and for longer focus. They're all creatine driven. In fact, when children are born that don't produce sufficient creatine, they have an impaired brain function. And studies even show that creatine improves short-term memory and reasoning skills too. And for me, I noticed better memory recall when working with clients. Remembering individual progress and specific details felt much sharper. And if you're new here, my name is Tim. I'm a food scientist and personal trainer, now based in Austin, Texas. I specialize in helping guys hit 10% body fat without letting fitness take over their life. So subscribe for more, or if you're interested in one-to-one coaching from me, go to my website. But how much creatine should you actually take to get all these benefits? Well, you need about 0.03 grams per kg of body weight per day. And for the average guy, that's 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day to make sure you're covered. But it takes time for your muscles to get fully saturated with creatine, so you've got two options. Option one is with a loading phase. And this is what I did to get the effect faster. Just take 5 grams of creatine 4 times a day to get fully saturated fast. Or if you're feeling bold, you can take 20 grams in one go. But you better have the stomach of an elephant. Then after a week, simply drop down to 3 to 5 grams per day to maintain saturation. Or there's option 2. Just skip the loading phase and just take 3 to 5 grams a day over the course of 30 days. It's the same result, it's just slower to get your muscles to full creatine saturation. And for more coaching tips, watch my video here.